Afternoon, this is Jim Whitehead of All Power Group. Today, this is going to be a very short live feed, and this is based off of what we need to do to be safe after hurricanes during phenomenal, unfortunate power losses. Now, let me explain real quickly. I've been a generator company for over 20 years, and what you're seeing in front of you, and Generac's a good company, I'm still a dealer for them, but what I want to point out today are another choice that's not as time consuming and also not as expensive. So what you're looking at, this is a Generac air-cooled product, and the largest they have for the air-cooled is 26 kW or 26,000 watts of power being put out. What you see on the left is the transfer switch, and what that does, it goes either on the outside or the inside and integrates into your electrical system in your home. Very straightforward. Now, one might say, hey, that's cool. Here we go. Well, the bottom line is it takes about 2 months to do a generator install like this. And it mainly is because of permitting, time to order and get the generator, all the inspections we have to do, et cetera, et cetera. So in addition to what you're seeing here that gets installed, we have to install gas. And I was a gas contractor up until I moved over here to Naples, and I'm doing this, which I enjoy so much more. But bottom line, you got to install some form of gas. Now, yes, you can run them on natural gas, but very few people have natural gas to either their neighborhood and especially to their property. So in most cases, we're going to have to put in either the middle tank is considered above ground tanks, and that's about 100 gallons of propane. And on the right and the left, you've got a 500-gallon propane tank that we bury, and also a 1,000-gallon tank that we bury. Now, beyond that, we can go larger, but that's not for this point. Now, again, as I said earlier, this takes a long time to get this all permitted, approved, all the equipment. It only takes about a week to install it, but you can't really install it until you get the permits, especially the gas. Gas is explosive. If a inspector or anybody that's an official with a town or city, they're gonna, if they see gas installed on a property without permitting, everybody's in trouble. So you don't do it. I would say to customers, I can do some of the generator installation while we're waiting for the permits, as long as they've been submitted, but I can't and will not do gas, because again, of the two, putting in a generator on a slab and some electrical, no big deal. But gas is a big deal. So, and that's why I paid a lot of money every year for insurance. Luckily, in 20 plus years, I never had a problem, but, never say never. So what I'm doing now is, and up until a year ago, or even less than a year ago, 6 months ago, we had these, what we call solar generators. And this is an EcoFlow. And on the right is a comparable transfer switch as you saw with the standby generator. But the EcoFlow, they put out this Ultra model January 9th. Now before that, EcoFlow plus other manufacturers. Anchor's another company, Blue Eddy, I can go on and on and on. They were good for certain things in the sense that the product they had. Could you charge your phone? Could you run a light? Could you run a refrigerator? Yes. But if for having it installed as an alternative to a standby generator, it just wasn't there. So what I did, and you're going to see the last picture, is for this building that we're in is an off-grid building. It's in my backyard in Naples. And because I don't like to sell and or install things that I don't have direct experience, learning everything I need to know about it, I installed this building. Well, we had to have it built up and installed on a slab. But as I said, I went the off-grid route, and I literally, what you're seeing is my third try at getting something viable that does all that you need. Now, again, what this is, on the left side, you've got the EcoFlow Ultra, and the top piece is an inverter. Now, what inverters do, they just invert DC power to AC power, and AC power is what we do to run everything we have in our home. So that's what the top piece does. Right below it is the batteries. Now you'll see a picture of what I did here. When we buy it and we buy the transfer switch, that is how it comes. But the neatest thing is that inverter that you're looking at and the one battery, you can literally install it with 5 batteries, 4 batteries, 3, 2. I bought my setup in January with 2 batteries plus the inverter. And then I could see the building was going to use more power, especially as we were getting into and are in the hot weather. So what I did with my system is I added a 3rd battery. Now each battery system, you won't be tested on this, but each battery system is 6 kilowatt hours of stored power. So here I have 3 batteries, so I have 18 kilowatt hours of stored power. And that's what I'm running on now. And I start out in the morning, fire everything up, work all day, and then decide, well, okay, it's time. And the neat thing is, I get all day. Now, if it was where, oh my God, I don't have enough power, or it's yada, 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 I can add another 1 or 2 batteries. And the neat thing versus a standby generator, you can't increase the power. Whatever you buy, let's say it's a 26 kW, a 48 kW, a 60 kW, that's the power you're going to get. You can't say, well, I'm going to add a little module to increase the power. No, it doesn't work that way. But with these, you can. And just as an aside, if you had a mammoth home, as I mentioned, that inverter can literally have 5 batteries. But in addition, if you say, well, we really need more power, so if it's a much bigger home, you can add an additional 2 more inverters with 5 batteries on each one. So, and they'd all be integrated. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it real well, but the bottom of that transfer switch on the right, those are 3 different connections. So these would go in, inverter 1, inverter 2, inverter 3, and if you've packed it all 3 of them with 5 batteries each, you'd have 90 kilowatt hours of power, which is absolutely amazing. Now, these can go in as just as you're seeing them, and typically we put it in the garage, and put the transfer switch. Now, somebody said, "Oh, don't I have to have solar power panels?" No, you don't have to, and it just depends how you use it. I'm using this as all my power that I have, my power production in here. When I decide to do something different for the building, I'm going to take that Ultra and I'm going to install it in the garage, just like I'm doing for a lot of people, to get them ready for hurricane season. Now, I'm going to show you just a picture of, it's kind of a little messy, but bottom line, this is in this building, and you can see the Ultra system with the 3 batteries I mentioned, and that is going into, and in this case, I didn't need to use the other big EcoFlow, transfer switch. I'm old, you know how that goes. But anyway, what I actually did instead, because I don't have that, this isn't really a big building, that's a manual transfer switch. And I'm using 5 circuits off of there. So that's what's running. And I can look at it on either my phone or on the unit itself, and it will tell me what % battery do I have. So I start out in the morning at 90%. You could go to 100, but it's better for the batteries not to go to 100%. And I can run this system down to literally 10%. And if you miss it, it's kind of silly, because it's obvious that you're going to run down. And what that unit does automatically, it's built this way, to say, I'm not going to bring the batteries down to 0. So it shuts down. I missed it one day when I only had 2 batteries, and yeah, all of a sudden this whole building shut down. I was like, what the heck? Well, it had gotten down to 10%. That has never happened again, because one, I added a 3rd battery, and I make sure that I'm monitoring and keeping an eye on it so that I don't get caught by surprise. So this is the whole great thing about what we can do for backup. Anyway, thank you. I always appreciate every time you're here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Now, by the way, yes, my channel is animal related, which is my prime love, I guess you might say. But there's things where, generators, tech, hardware, gas. Being 74 years old, I've done a lot of different things in my life. So I have a lot of skills and a lot of things I can help people with. So bottom line, please ask me any questions. You never always get exactly everything you need. But anyway, I want to thank you very, very much again, and hopefully see you in the very near future. Thank you again.